It's RSM.
I'm actually really excited about this book because it's a Pulitzer Prize winner. Like, it won. Not a nominee. Like, it actually won the Pulitzer Prize. So I want to see, like, what is it? It's a national bestseller, so I feel like I have to read it, you know? And it's buy one, get one 50% off. So the other book is Heartless. Excited about that too. I've heard so many things about this book, but like, should I get it? I don't know. I have like so many good books. I think I should get it. I got a total of 2, wait, I already lost count. 2, 4, 5. 5 books, guys. And I'm so excited about every single one. I got some like, I need this. I got some like stellar Goodreads. Very proud of these. A thumbnail. Yeah. Oh my god. If I drop another book. God. Sorry books. Sorry neighbors. The first book we obviously have to talk about is Beach Read. Obviously, this is a summer book. Like, it's called Beach Read, you know? I've never read an Emily Henry book, but I've heard so many. I mean, like, if you're a booktuber or a booktoker or whatever, TikTok or whatever, and you haven't heard or read about Beach Read, like, I think you might live under a rock. I feel like everyone has talked about this book at least once, or you just have seen it on your feed, you know? I honestly would not normally go for a book like this. I don't know. I'm like, will I like this? I don't know. My style is typically like fantasy, like I talked about before, and self-help, so this is like way out of the realm. I don't really like romance novels either, but I've been reading them. So I've also been reading mystery and thriller, so I've been dabbling into different genres, but typically like you will only catch me reading fantasy. But anyway, let's talk about the back, the synopsis of Beach Read. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction, blah 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 blah. He meets his other person, January Andrews. They write best-selling romance novels. Okay, but they're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then, one hazy evening, one thing leads to another and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January, like, first of all, their names are like months. Augustus, August, and January, okay? January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on a field trip worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love. Really? Really? Like that, I was super curious. Like, it sounds very interesting. Like I said, this is out of my realm of like things I normally dabble in, but like I don't know, it just seems like a good read. Like, I kind of want to see what happens if they switch roles for a second, and I've never done that with a person. Like, I wonder what that's like. The next book I got is called Heartless. Now, this is very on brand for me. Basically, this is about the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. If you've ever seen those movies, if you've ever read those books, like, it's a classic character, but you get a glimpse into her life before she became the Queen of Hearts. Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland and a favorite of the unmarried king, but her interest lies elsewhere. Where? A talented baker, she wants to open a shop and create delectable pastries. But for her mother, such a goal is unthinkable for a woman who could be a queen. At a royal ball where Kath is expected to receive the king's marriage proposal, she meets handsome and mysterious Jess. For the first time, she feels the pull of true attraction. At the risk of offending the king and infuriating her parents, she and Jess enter into a secret courtship. Ooh! Kath is determined to choose her own destiny. Okay, yes ma'am. But in a land thriving with magic, madness, and monsters, Faith has other plans. Throwback to when I said I love fantasy, right? My style is typically like fantasy. I do love fantasy, but let's add in a bit of romance to a classic character from Alice in Wonderland. Like, that sounds really intriguing. So I'm going into this book with very high hopes. So the other book that I got is called Less. Just wanted to see, like, what is it about this book that made it a Pulitzer Prize? Like, will I love this book as well? Or what? Who says you can't run away from your problems? I already even like intrigued just along with that first sentence. You are a failed novelist about to turn 50. A wedding invitation arrives in the mail. Your boyfriend of the past 9 years is engaged to someone else. You can't say yes, it will be too awkward. And you can't say no, it will look like defeat. Like, I feel like this is something that would happen to me. On your desk are invitations to half-baked literary events around the world. Question: how do you arrange to skip town? Like, that is something I would try to be like, how can I get out of this? Answer: you accept all of the invitations. What could possibly go wrong? Thus begins an around the world in 80 days fantasia that will take the novelist Arthur Less to Mexico, Italy, Germany, Morocco, India, and Japan, and put thousands of miles between him and the plight he refuses to face. Welcome to the bestseller embraced by readers readers everywhere. A love story, a satire of the American abroad, a rumination on time and the human heart. Blessed shows a writer at the peak of his talents, raising the curtain on our shared comedy. Apparently it's like funny, you know, it says brilliantly funny, hilarious and wise. So I'm like, okay, sounds like it's funny. It's like, it sounds like it's my type of novel. Like, how can I get out of this? And like, how can I escape like the inevitable? Let's travel around the world. That sounds right. The next book that I'm excited about is Happy Place. What would be a summer read without a book called Happy Place? This is another Emily Henry novel. It was $5 off at Barnes & Noble. First of all, look at the cover. It just looks so happy. Like, if this doesn't scream summer to you, like, what does? It's called Happy Place. But anyway, the first sentence says, think of your happy place. Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls. I love that. Except now, for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 5 months ago and still haven't told their best friends. Why? Which is how they find themselves sharing a bedroom at the main cottage that has been their friend group's yearly getaway for the last decade. Their annual respite from the world, where for one vibrant, blissful week, they leave behind their daily lives, have copious amounts of cheese, wine, and seafood, and soak up the salty coastal air with the people who understand them most. That sounds like my kind of vacation. Like, okay, let's get it. Only this year, Harriet and Wynne are lying through their teeth while trying not to notice how desperately they still want each other. Okay, so why aren't they together then? Because the cottage is for sale, and this is the last week they'll all have together in this place. They can't stand to break their friends' hearts, and so they'll play their parts. Harriet will be the driven, surgical resident who never starts a fight, and Wynne will be the laid-back charmer who never lets the cracks show. It's a flawless plan. If you look at it from a great distance and through a pair of sunscreen smeared sunglasses. After years of being in love, how hard can it be to fake it for 1 week in front of those who know you best? How is this gonna end? Are they gonna get found out? First of all, Emily Henry looks like a boss. Like, okay, look at her work, sis. Okay. I just love that she looks very strong. So I'm excited to read that book. Like, these sound like awesome reads. Also, a classic. I found this in the science fiction fantasy section, all the way tucked in the corner of the Barnes & Noble. Like, I've never even been back there, but then I was back there today and I was like, I have been looking for this book for a long time. I almost didn't get it because I didn't go there planning on getting this book. Like, I wanted to get like happy summery vibes, but like, I don't even know if this is a happy summery vibe. It's called A Court of Thorns and Roses. It says it blends romance, adventure, and fairy lore, which that is my jam, you know? And this is a series, and like, those books are pretty thick as you go along. Basically, it's about, she's 19 years old, she's a fiery, I don't know, please tell me, because I don't know. She kills a wolf in the woods, and a terrifying creature arrives in demand of retribution. Like, don't kill my people, what is this? Dragged to a treacherous magical land she knows about only from legends, Fiery, I'm just call her F. F discovers that her captor is not truly a beast, but one of the lethal, immortal fairies who once ruled her world. Okay, so where he came from? At least he's not a beast all the time. As she adapts to her new home, her feelings for the fairy, Tamlin, transform from icy hostility into a fiery passion that burns through every lie she's been told about the beautiful, dangerous world of the Fae. Someone's been lying to her. But something is not right in the fairylands. An ancient wicked shadow is growing, and F must find a way to stop it or doom Tamlin and his world forever. Whoa, this sounds so intense. I'm already like drawn in. Every single book has me like, aren't those good purchases? Like, seriously, I have some classics in there. I have to finish the books that I had before I purchased these. I'm currently reading, you know, I'll link it below, and I'll even link these books below because I'm pretty sure you can get these off of Amazon, like if you want to get these yourself. If you're interested in seeing how this goes along, be sure to tune back in for my wrap up at the end of the month. I'm so excited to start reading.
Caught up in a cycle in this tactic kind of world. My manic is panicking if I'm really the type of girl who stays up until the morning. It's boring, at least I hear some type of